Lord, I can't believe I told you that, but it's all right.
It's
A
fine.
little
I'm
bit
not
all
going to
right.
tell anybody. I mean, you did,
I mean,
but
the whole world, but I mean, who cares, right?
This is Reah, and this is Just the Who of Us, where we talk about a range of topics including life events, current events, spirituality, entertainment, family relationships, as well as answering listener questions and more.
So when you go through things, it's nobody else's business, really. I say it's nobody else's business, but if you want to tell your story and it's your story to tell and you think something is funny in your story, that maybe it shouldn't be funny necessarily. Like, oh, I've had my nose broken before. It's not funny, but the way that it happened is funny. And if I find it funny, then why is the rest of the world looking at me going, that's not funny. You shouldn't laugh about things like that.
right, because
Like,
it's yours. You're not laughing at somebody else.
exactly. Like, if I want to laugh at myself, then I should be able to do that without fear of somebody going, oh my God, why are you like that? Like, bitch, I ask myself why I'm like this constantly. Okay. There's no fucking answer to it, damn it. I am the way that I am. And as long as I love myself, it doesn't fucking matter what you think.
Right, right, 100%.
I'm not a people pleaser. I used to be a people pleaser.
Same.
God, I used to be a people pleaser. Just wanted, and I guess it stemmed from I just wanted somebody to care about me or love me the way that I wanted them to, not the way that they wanted to, the way that I wanted them to. So I'd bend over backwards and do anything and everything for anybody and everybody.
Mm,
And you just, as you grow up, you learn one, you can't do it because you burn yourself out. And two, you're making everybody else happy and you're miserable. No, thank you. Not today, Satan.
not today, Satan. Absolutely
No.
not.
I've learned to live by my own set of rules
Right.
instead of society's rules. Because, at the end of the day, you're the one that has to live with yourself, not everybody else.
That's true.
So,
You're the only person at the core in your head. Typically, but you're the only
typically.
person that has to live with your internal thoughts and feelings and things like that. So,
Girl, them internal thoughts and feelings are they something else sometimes. Like them conversations that you have with yourself in your head. I think I remember seeing a video of a lady who said that she was talking to her therapist about her talking to herself in her head.
mhm.
And her therapist told her that it was a trauma response. And I'm like, I can kind of see that, but I've been talking to myself in my head since I was 5. Okay. I don't have, my childhood was pretty decent. I don't have trauma from childhood. So that has nothing to do with it. It's just reassuring myself pretty much.
Yeah, it depends on the dialogue of the conversation. Are you having intense conversations with yourself as two different people? That might be a little bit different. Or are you just answering yourself?
This is the same person. It's like, why did we do that? Well, I don't know. Why the hell did you do that, Brittany? Well, because it was your idea. And then just so on and so on, questioning myself like,
Right.
fuck, bro,
Right.
why did I do that? Why did we do that? I
Yeah.
say we because, I know it sounds crazy, but I sound like I literally
I
have
know.
conversations with myself, not other people
Like
up
you're,
here.
yeah, it's like your angel and your devil. You're talking
Yeah.
to the you that did it and the you that is now and is more logical because you're out of the moment.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
like Brittany and Barbara or something. I don't know.
So my alter ego's name is Renee.
Okay. That's much better than Barbara. So,
Well, so when I was younger and we'd go out to bars and stuff, if I didn't want somebody to know my name, I would tell them my name was Renee.
no, okay, I was younger when we did this, but me and one of my best friends growing up, I was Angel and she was Alexis. And we actually gave each of our kids middle names based off the names of the other one. So one of my daughter's middle name is Alexa because that's what she went by.
Oh.
And her son's middle name is Angelo, like a male version of Angel. Yeah.
That's so adorable.
So, fun fact. But no, I get it. I'm not trying to talk to you like that. Flirt a little bit, I'll give you this name. But if I'm not trying to give you my number or something, like, you don't really need to know who I actually am.
Right? Like, no, thank you. Not today. Not today. Lord, and these folks that you meet in the bars. Oh, God, the worst. Ugh.
I'm glad I don't go to the bar anymore. I met some characters.
Same, girl, same. And I was mean. Like, we'd be me and my friends, and somebody would come to our table and try to talk to us. And I'm like, why are you here? Are you supposed to be here? I don't think you are. Did any of us invite you? No. I think you need to leave.
Right.
I was so mean, but, and I will full on admit, sometimes it was out of pure jealousy and anger. Cause like I was always the fat friend. I was the duff.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you've seen that movie, right?
I don't think so.
Oh my God. Okay. You've got to watch it. So the duff is like the ugly friend, the fat friend, the one that makes everybody else look better.
Oh, stop.
Girl, I'm not kidding. There is literally a movie about it. I forget the girl's name that plays the main girl, but she's really, really pretty. Matter of fact, let me look that up real quick. So a lot of times it was out of jealousy and anger that I was the fat, ugly friend. So the Duff has Mae Whitman. It has Bella Thorne in it too. I forgot about that.
Okay, I do know who that is.
I haven't seen it in forever though. Anyways, but you'd have to watch it.
From Good Girls. She's cute, though.
Yes, but like, so in the movie, she like dresses like in overalls and like not real like girly clothes.
Okay.
And like she doesn't wear makeup, she doesn't do her hair, stuff like that
during the week, basically. Minus the overalls.
Or me. I mean, come on. Anyways, yes. So like it was out of a lot of jealousy, and I was overweight, unhappy. So like these guys would come over to the tables and I'm like, nobody invited you. Bye. Like I was miserable and made everybody else around me miserable. And I was like that for a good portion of my life. And, I would have to say only in the last like 4 years have I kind of moved away from that toxicity. Because as you and I have discussed, I'm not innocent by any means. Am I innocent in a lot of things in life? Mm-hmm. I've had a lot of stuff happen to me that have caused me, a lot of pain and anguish. And it's hard, like when you come from abusive relationships to feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
So like coming from the abusive relationship, going into, well, now you have to date and you have to do this. And,
right.
It's a struggle learning, because being in an abusive relationship, it takes everything away from you. It takes away who you are. You don't know who you are anymore. You can't get back to, and you will never be the person that you were before that happened.
Understandably so, though.
But like it turns you into a very crass person. Like everything gets locked out and shut out, and fuck you. Like fuck you, fuck everything, fuck everybody.
Right. Yeah.
And then, having a kid in that as well, like, oh God, like everything's just a roller coaster of emotions. And it's just something that you have to deal with. And it takes years. I mean, years to be able to truly deal with it.
Yeah. Well, while we're here on this topic, let me go ahead and introduce you because
My bad.
no, we always have so much to talk about. And when we started this episode, I was having some issues and you helped me through it. So it took us a minute to get back on track, but we're here. So I have my new podcasting bestie, Brittany.
Hi.
Tell me a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm so distracted by my dog that's still helping my dog's arm. I don't get it. Like, how is he not out of energy at this point? Like, he's literally been doing it this whole time.
At least he'll sleep good later, right? He'll get that energy out, won't be running around your house, pissing on everything that you own, like little dogs do.
And then here's the girl dog. She's like, oh God, can we be done with this already?
Like, why are you doing this? Like a real relationship, though. Like, are you almost done? Like, I was done 10 minutes ago, bro. Come on.
Seriously.
It's starting to dry up down there.
Oh God. Facts. As the kids.
I mean, or maybe it's just me. I mean, like, because like sometimes if I get mine, I'm done. Like, it's fixing to be dry. Sorry.
Okay, because I thought that I was supposed to be born a guy. Because I'm like, all right, well, I'm good. So let's wrap this up here.
Like, I have literally done that to people though and kicked them the fuck out of my house. Like, I'm done. Deuces, get the fuck out. This is my house. Get the fuck out.
Oh God. But then when you live together, it's kind of like, I'm kidding.
I mean, you can stay in the bed. I'm gonna go to the kitchen and get some food. Okay.
Oh God.
That girl be hungry after she get hers.
Yes.
Hungry and thirsty.
Go make a snack, please, and bring me some water. Like, be of some use. I'm kidding.
But I will. Them after sex snacks are the best snacks, though. Best snacks.
I'm I'm really like a guy. All right, so we're done. Whatever. I'm gonna go wash, and then you can go do whatever you need to do afterwards. Like out. I might take a nap. I might eat. Whatever.
And then don't touch me. Don't touch me after because it's hot. I don't want to be touched.
Yeah.
Don't talk to and a lot of times I'm like, don't talk to me afterwards because I don't want to process anything right now. Like just let me be.
Like I'm not trying to think. I'm just I want to relax. I don't want to have to do anything.
Right?
Brain wise.
I don't want to process this information right now.
However, we both know that is kind of a trauma thing because when you've been through physical, typically sexual trauma, you want to control this situation and you want to control the narrative after. And when you've been in relationship trauma, after you have been physical with someone, you kind of need a minute. You need a minute to process that.
Mm-hmm.
Process the fact that I can control what happens next. I can control whether whether I want you here or not, or I can control this, and it's a refreshing kind of thing. Yeah. But at the same time, it's okay, I know I have that control, but I'm still kind of in that mindset of, okay, this is done, and now we're moving on. Even though it wasn't a hostile situation, you're still kind of in that, okay, well, all right, let's move on from this, even though it wasn't bad, if that makes sense.
Right. So I used to think that now, of course, this was an abusive relationship almost from the get-go. Within the first 3 months, he was probably before that, but I was 18 and didn't really know much of anything. And oh my God, I'm so in love. What the fuck ever.
Weren't we all?
And so I used to not want to have sex with him at all because I didn't freaking feel like it.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Like, sometimes you just don't want to fucking do it.
Yeah.
But then it was, well, you're my girlfriend. You have to.
Oh, wow.
If you don't have
Yeah.
sex with me, I'm going to leave you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't fuck me, I'll find somebody else to fuck. So then, like, you're pressured and you feel like if you don't do this, that I've literally had my ass beat because I didn't want to have sex with him.
Damn.
Like, you motherfucker.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't be so good with the goodies. And then,
If he wasn't so bad
wouldn't
with the
happen. I'm
goodies,
just kidding.
maybe I would have wanted to. Oh, God.
We're going to put a picture with the information down here so you guys know who to avoid. I'm just kidding.
I wish we could. I wish.
Like, stay away from this guy.
Stay away from this douche. And I'm not going to use names because he is the type of person that would be like, I'm going to sue you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
God. Just throw on some more shit.
Yeah.
But I used to think that, oh, this is the way that it should be. Like, you're together. You should do this for your person. And don't get me wrong, there are some things that you should be doing for the person in your life. And I'm not saying that sex is one of those things, but in a way, you are supposed to have intimate relationships with the person that you're with your partner. Like, it creates it creates a different type of bond.
I agree.
But it should be when you both want to.
Right.
And when you're feeling up to it, not when they tell you that they want to, which, let's be honest, a man's always going to want to, even if they don't, like, even if they're like, oh God, I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
And then, like, most of the time, all you got to do is like look at them and they're like, oh yeah, okay.
I was wrong. I do feel like it.
Right? Like, but that's just, men have a high sex drive.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't, they don't. But most of the time, most men, if you look at them and be like, let's go. They're like, I'm fucking down. Even if 5 minutes ago, even if 5 minutes ago, they were like, oh, my back hurts. My knees hurt. I don't feel good.
Yeah.
They're usually down.
Because most guys think with their dicks while most women think with their brains.
This is very true. Now, I will fully say there was one point in my life where I pretty much thought with my vagina.
Same.
And I was like,
well, also too, it has to be, so you're in a stable relationship and I am as well. And it has to be at some point kind of, I don't know if difficult is the right word, but maybe kind of difficult because I've had this conversation with my partner. He had his little hoe phase. I had mine when I was, so, at some point when you've been used, you go into this like player phase where you don't care about whoever you're doing things with. Your goal is to get what you want and move on. Man, woman, whatever. And I would imagine it's a little bit difficult for our partners due to our sexual trauma to say, okay, if we don't have a high sex drive, they're probably like, well, and I know they are, even if they don't say it. Well, you did this, this, and this, but now you don't want to do this, this, and this with me. And it's a kind of like an odd thing because it's like, yeah, but I actually care about you.
Right. So like, I don't want to have sex with you constantly because I care about you.
Because I actually care about you and I want our sexual encounters to be meaningful and not just something I do because I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yep.
Or I feel like you're not going to like me if I don't, or, the other thoughts that come from sexual trauma.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're going to cheat on me. If I don't have sex with you every day, you're going to find somebody else to have sex with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like that's one of my main things, like in my head constantly, even though I don't which again, you never know anybody because you can be with somebody for 20 years and then they turn around and cheat on you or even fucking murder you.
For real.
So like you never truly know anybody, but he's not the type of person that I would think that would do that to me.
Right.
But even now, sometimes I look at him like if we don't have sex for a couple of days, I look at him, I'm like, you're going to cheat on me. You're cheating on me. And it literally stems from being told, if you don't fuck me, I'm going to find somebody else to fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, we've had conversations and he's very understanding about a lot of things. But just like you said, sometimes he'll look at me and he's like, well, you did this. And I'm like, just because, and I've had to explain to him, you know, just because I've done things in the past, I'm not the same person that I was then. Like I'm a totally different person now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, if you want me to do these things, then buckle up, buttercup, because you fitting to get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah.
Like if I go back to doing the things that I used to do, you would motherfucking run.
Yeah, you wouldn't like me because of why I was doing those things.
You would absolutely hate me.
Yeah.
Like I used to, and it's like sex play in a way, but like I would make them dress up in lingerie.
What?
Oh yes, honey. Oh yes.
Okay.
My boyfriend now would never, ever allow that to happen. I would find men who were beta men, I guess you would say, you know, alpha, beta, like how they define their own class. I don't know why men do that.
Yeah.
Which I guess some men don't, but we'll go with that description. I would find beta men because I have a very dominant personality. Like when it comes to everything in life, work, home, everything. And my man is the only person that I am soft around. Like he is my safe space. He is my comfort.
Yeah.
So like I don't have to be dominant with him. But used to, I would find these beta males and I would have them dress up in lingerie. And I would literally ride on their backs and they would be on all fours and I would be on their backs and they would be on all fours dragging me across the room because that's what I wanted to do at the time because it was my control. And did they enjoy it? Fuck yeah, they enjoyed it because that's what this, you know, this sex play or whatever. It was like a dominatrix thing, kind of. Yeah. And I enjoyed it because I got to be in control of what happened.
Right.
So it that mentality right there comes from the bullshit in the past.
Yeah.
And I had to find my man now to like break that cycle.
Yeah. I get that.
He is amazing. He is just something that I would have never thought that I would ever in my life be with somebody like that. Wasn't my type, wasn't nothing. Like when I met him, I was like, I'm gonna fuck him and send him on his fucking way.
Yeah.
Like deuces, bye bitch. And I never expected to hear from him again, but here he was, just constantly. And it just, here we are 2 years later, and he's my best friend, and I love him to death. And, you know, it takes somebody who is willing to understand the things that you've been through and work with you on those things, because he has definitely been a saving grace. Like I will literally be freaking out or feel overwhelmed or overstimulated. And I will literally look at him and I'm like, I'm overstimulated. I need help. And he will, like, whatever's going on, he will cut the TV off if there's too much going on. Like the kids are talking, the TV's on, the dryer's going, my damn socks are too fuzzy.
Right.
Like I don't even wear fuzzy socks because I can't stand, like it's too much, like the sensory or whatever. I don't know. It's too much for me. Fuzzy socks are a no-go. I like the thin socks, the smooth socks. Like, how do we go from talking about men and lingerie to socks? Like, this is the way my brain is, people. Hey.
That's our title, From Sex to Socks.
From Sex to Socks. I like that. I like that. I love it. But like this is the way that my brain works though. Like I'm literally one thing to another, and it's all fun and games until
it's why we get along so well. Because we get each other.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are like this, but like they hide it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are better at hiding it than others. Like I can't hide shit. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Like even growing up, like I couldn't lie. My mama caught me in everything.
Me
and like
too.
As I got older, she was like, you just didn't give a shit. She was like, you just did whatever you wanted to do, and that was it.
Yeah.
You know, like I think you and I discussed, you know, we are all the villain in somebody's story.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I've said this before. We are all the villain in somebody's story. And I am probably the villain in my mother's story. God, I gave that woman such a hard freaking time.
Yeah.
Terrible time.
I used to think that about my mom too. And even now, like, I'll tell her, like, I'm sorry I was such a piece of shit. And she was like, look, like, I don't hold anything against you because you were a child, you were a teenager, you're going through this, blah, blah, blah. Like, I would expect my mom to absolutely hate me, but my mom's a wonderful woman, and she's be unforgiving if she needs to be. There's people that she might hold, something against because whatever, the way they did me or whatever, but I had this conversation with her, like, I'm sorry for being such a piece of shit when I was trash when I was growing up. And she was like, don't be, like you were going through things, and like you are who you are now, and I don't hold it against you because of the changes you made and things like that,
Yeah. My mom's the same way. She tells me now, she's like, I keep waiting on you to go back to the Brittany that you were a few years ago. She was like, because like, she's like, every time I talk to you, I just keep waiting for it because it has, like I said, like the last 4 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a long time in the grand scheme of things.
No, it's not. She's like, I just keep waiting for it to rear its head or to return or whatever. And I'm like, I don't fucking like that person. I can't stand that person that I used to be. God, I hate that girl.
For real. Same.
But
that girl had issues.
Yes, but as much as I hate the girl that I used to be, she was me. I am her. And I have to deal with the girl that I used to be and be the girl or the woman that I am now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So a lot of growth and, changes and just life things, man. Like life knocks you on your fucking ass and then you have to pick yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time we're in it by ourselves.
Yeah. But even if you have people around, it doesn't mean that you're not alone internally, because what if they can't understand what you're going through? What if they can't understand what you grew through? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I guess that's why we do this. Yeah. That's why I'm talking to you, and that's why I decided to do what I decided to do. Yeah. Like give, and I'm not saying that it's, how do I put it? Fuck, I don't know. Anyways, I'm not saying it's a replacement for having things like therapy or, somebody in person to talk to, But, you know, getting things out there, telling things, getting things off of your chest, hearing what other people have gone through and have survived.
Right.
Like some of the things that some people have gone through and survived are just absolutely, what's the word? I don't know what word I'm looking for, but amazing. We'll use amazing. Like these are strong people. And we're not talking about just abusive relationships. Like we're talking about, you know, I know a girl who survived a fire, like had major burns over a lot of her body. And then after that, like a couple of years later, she was shot in the head and survived.
Wow.
So, like, it's
I would like to meet her.
some of these things that people have gone through and survived, and the way that they have dealt with these things in their lives and have grown and moved on with their lives.
Yeah.
I can't remember who said it, but you grow through what you go through.
Yes, 100%. Or you should. You should.
You should.
The goal
is to grow.
Yeah.
And you know, and I know you've heard me say this, and I can't remember who actually said it, but life begins at the end of your comfort zone.
Yep.
So like you have to be uncomfortable to make changes and to get to where you need to be in life.
Yeah, because if not, then you're just going to be happy where you are.
Happy where you are, fucking miserable where you are.
Well, content. Maybe not happy, like content.
Yeah.
Content if you're not kind of pushed to go farther or change. You're just kind of like complacent. There you go.
Complacent. I like that word. Well, and you know, like that's like jobs and things, you know, jobs, like a lot of times people get so upset when they lose a job. So it's kind of like, yeah, like I understand being upset because you lost your job, but if you were stuck at that job for 5 years, haven't grown any, haven't moved up any, and you've been there for 5 years,
right?
This was probably the best thing that has happened to you. It's time to do better, find something better, do better than that. Because after 5 years, I think after 3 years of being somewhere, you should have moved up in the company. If you don't move up within 3 years, it's time to find somewhere else to go because they don't appreciate your hard work and what you're putting in and things like that. And some people don't want to move up, and that's fine if you don't want to move up. Like, you know, some people, they don't like having more responsibilities. They don't want more responsibilities. They can't handle having more responsibilities. But who wants to be on the bottom of the totem pole for the rest of their lives? People who don't grow, people who are afraid of changes.
Also, sometimes because of low self-esteem, self-doubt, you know, things like that. Like, well, I don't think that I could do any better, or I worked at a place, a very big place, and I was a department manager 4 or 5 years, and I moved up within like 6 months of entering. I had to share 2 older women with myself in one other department, which doesn't really make sense because they're pretty big departments. And then productivity is a little slow. I ended up actually having to write up one of the ladies, which I felt bad about, but I was told that's what I needed to do. So that's what I did. And then they came at me with like, well, this and this isn't getting done. And I'm like, well, that's because I'm one person in this pretty big department with not really any help. So, and I've been asking y'all for help. Why am I sharing people with another big department? That's kind of on you guys. And then I do orders and things, and one of the managers would go back, change my numbers and stuff. And I'm like, well, how the hell am I supposed to have what I need if y'all are going back? So you're kind of sabotaging me. But it was cool. They fired me, and within the next week, I had another job. I have money saved up, so I wasn't really sweating it. I was like, whatever, whatever. I wouldn't have left here had you not got fired me, and I needed to move on anyway. So, but it served its purpose for a couple of reasons. For the time being, if they hadn't have booted me, I don't know if I'd be there now, but I would have been there for a while, and I wouldn't have made the progress that I did. So,
Yeah. And that's the thing. So sometimes you have to do those things. And sometimes those things just happen for cosmic universal reasons to push you into doing other things. Like a lot of people, they do side businesses and have regular jobs too, but something happens to their regular job and their side business becomes their main source of income and it grows exponentially. If you got a side business part-time and it's doing well part-time, quit your fucking job. Do it.
yeah.
This is your sign.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. Make your business your full-time and grow it.
Mm-hmm.
You've got this. If it's already doing well part-time, imagine what you could do full-time.
Yeah, so we have a couple businesses, but the one that's our main focus collectively, I have two. We have one together. So the one that we have together, that's my full time, and I do marketing. I do all of that. Our goal is for it to take over his full time job. However, he likes his job. He's very good at it. He's been with this company since they pretty much started from the ground up, and we plan to take it and make it take over his full-time job. But when the owner of the company that he works for started, he was working full-time, started his own business. And then once it got to where, all right, we're doing good here, he left the other job, good benefits, good everything, but he was stable where he wanted to be with his job, with his company, and said, all right, I'm done putting my energy into your business and growing it. I'm focusing on myself, and it's thriving highly today. And that's kind of where we want to be, where we want to go with ours. But we're pretty particular with what we want to do. And so I'm trying to focus on getting us there with the specifics we want, and not just taking all this stuff to do just because it's in.
What business is that?
So it's a cleaning business.
Okay.
We primarily focus on commercial cleaning. So I have a couple of residential clients, but our big focus is commercial, office buildings, things like that.
Well, that's good. If you lived closer, I might just come do this.
Yeah.
We are so off topic. It is unreal.
No. So, you know what, though? What I usually do, because I plan on having you back on, if you didn't already know that. But specifically when I have reoccurring guests, I like to take our first one as kind of like an introductory get to know you. And then when you come back, we'll have specific topics. But this was a perfect kind of intro, get to know you thing. And now we know a lot of juicy stuff about you.
Safe space, right?
Right.
Lord, I can't believe I told you that, but it's all right.
It's fine. I'm not going to tell anybody. I mean, you did, but
the whole world, but who cares, right? Like, I really don't. And that kills me. Some people are like, oh, you're not supposed to say this. You're not supposed to say that. Da 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 da. Fuck you. Fuck society. Who cares? I damn sure don't.
When you've kind of, and this happens in a relationship, specifically a kind of abusive relationship, everything goes back to our past to some degree. And when you've been in a relationship or a life experience, it could be a relationship with parents or, a significant other or whatever, grandparents, sometimes you just get to a point, or age, because I've heard people say this, I am 60 years old, I don't give a fuck. And, it could just be age sometimes. It could be life
I hit mine at 34.
But when you've been in certain situations, sometimes you're just like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm going to say how I feel. I'm not going to hold it back anymore. May it be inappropriate, may it be appropriate. I like I said, this is a safe space. You can literally say whatever you want here, because we're here to talk about tough shit. We're here to talk about traumatic things. Like, we're not here to. I have another podcast where I don't really curse. I don't curse. I'm just, I just talk about certain topics, and that one is a little more dainty.
Well, I
This
would
one
never
is
be
not.
on that one. I'm
This
sorry.
one's
I
not.
can't.
This is not that podcast. So,
I just feel like growing up and being in relationships where you had to hold your tongue,
mhm.
where if you said a certain thing, you'd get a backhand to the face.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm sick and fucking tired of keeping my motherfucking mouth shut.
yeah,
And like we're told, oh, you're not supposed to talk about that.
yeah,
You're not supposed to talk about the time you got your nose broke. You're not supposed to talk about the time you got your ass beat. You're not supposed to talk about this. You're not supposed to talk about that. Fuck
yeah,
you. We're talking about it.
yeah,
It
yeah,
it is fucking time
yeah.
that we talked about the things that have happened to us. Quit
Right.
holding it in, speak it,
Mhm.
let it out, make yourself feel better, and help others in the process. But everybody goes through trauma, and it's something that we need to stop stigmatizing.
Mhm.
Like, fucking stop,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
And we stigmatize trauma like we stigmatize herpes, okay? Like, what is it?
Fair.
1 in 4 people have it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
guess what? I can almost guarantee you 3 out of 4 people have
Yeah,
been through some type of trauma.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
So fucking stop.
Well, and it's like the herpes simplex virus, which is the most common, because I had this conversation with somebody in the past too. The herpes simplex is like a common cold sore. And so most people in their life have had one. Now, you might not even know that you have the simplex because it's like, oh, I just got a sore because it's, whatever outside, or I just got a little cold or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And that doesn't mean that you like have full blown herpes, which is a different vaginal herpes and whatnot. But it still exists in your body,
Uh-huh.
and
But
it is
it's
like trauma.
so stigmatized.
Yeah,
But like, everybody, and we all go through different types of things as well,
yeah,
which is why I say talk about it. Talk about
yeah.
it.
And luckily, you have a podcast that you are putting out that does exactly that.
I am.
So tell us a little bit about it.
I'm pretty excited about this because it's going to be, which, I've got an introduction out there. I'm still working on a lot of things because things happen and sometimes you have to back up and rearrange courses and things like that. So I'm working on getting some episodes out. But what it is it is a platform for you or anybody else who wants to tell their stories. And it's your stories, your way, safe space. I don't judge. I'm pretty sure that there's probably going to be some inappropriateness to a lot of this and some jokes, not towards what you have going on or anything like that. But as you can tell in this conversation, it's from one thing to another, sex to socks, damn it, because that's how I want it to be a conversation. I don't want it to be
Right.
like, well, this happened to me and that's it. Like, no,
Right.
have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's have other things come up and, make some laughs in between and, tell me how you're dealing with it, how you've dealt with it in your life so that maybe it can help somebody else. It could possibly help somebody get out of some of these situations that we have been in.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
So, I'm hoping that Tell Your Trauma becomes something where people can listen and feel better and talk about what they've been through and feel better about the things that they've been through in their lives.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell my story. I have multiple stories that can be told. So I will be telling some of mine in parts just so that everybody else doesn't feel as vulnerable. I am willing to be vulnerable and let it all out. So, I'm hoping that a lot of other people do that as well. And I'm also going to do an anonymous thing as well, just because some people don't like their voices being out there, but they want their stories to be told.
Yeah.
So email it to me. I will read it, or one of my co-hosts, or Miss Reah whenever she's on, because I like having her on because she's amazing. We will read it for you. That way, whatever you have gone through can possibly help somebody else. This isn't like, I've realized whenever I started it, it was kind of like me being petty in a way, which sounds crazy, but in a way, when I had the idea, it was more of fuck you to somebody else. I'm going to let people know what you fucking did to me, you sorry piece of shit, is how it started. And the more I thought and the more I talked about it to other people, the more I came to realize that this is about helping other people and helping other people understand what everybody goes through, and hopefully it does help. So it's a roller coaster of emotions. It's been one of the most amazing things that I've heard lately coming from myself, but amazing in the sense that so many people have reached out, and I did not think that it would be the way that it is. Even now, I haven't even posted a first episode, but so many people have reached out to want to tell their stories, and I'm just excited and I can't wait. And if you are listening to this and you want to tell your story, send me an email. I will get Miss Reah to put our email in the description, so that if you feel compelled to email it and you want to be on, more than happy to do that. We can get together and get your story told. So the email is tellyourtrauma@gmail.com. So just reach out to me there and we'll get it done.
Visit www.philolity.net, that's FALOLITY, where you can purchase your own copy of Surviving Mom Brain and Dad Brain workbooks, as well as my autobiography,